Welcome to Brand Decoded episode on quarter 5. Everyone knows there's 4 quarters, but what's a 5th quarter in a year? That's that period of time between the December 26th and the first Monday in the following year, which in this case is January 5th. So the quarter 5 is this period of time from 26th December until January 5th. In this period of time, you have holidays behind you, New Year as a buffer, and nothing meaningful starting until January 5th. So we witnessed this with our clients, multiple clients just taking 2 weeks off, and it allows us for a peaceful and quiet time where we can invest our energy into preparing for the year ahead. Now, I want to thank our sponsor for this episode, which is Alpha Efficiency, my own company, that prepared a strategic planning workshop for January 3rd so you can make most out of your Q5. The link's in the description below. Sign up. It's a $100 ticket. It's a 1-hour workshop, and I'm really looking forward to having you on board. Without further ado, I want to talk more about quarter 5. Last year, we had massive results with Q5 planning. The year took a different strategic shift from one-time revenue to recurring revenue, which stabilized our company. And that was a reminiscing and strategizing during the Q5 of 2024. In the last work session, we had Perfect Walls company that does wall painting. They did their first $50,000 with the new marketing initiative, and we had Christian Gladwell and Adam Sun. They took their business to the next level, providing services like SEO and web design. And we had our own company that reached $500,000 mark in the annual revenue. So all of this combined leads us to one conclusion. Annual strategic planning does produce tangible results. That's an extremely important thing to take note of. You need tangible results. And I want to tell you a secret as to how we do it, right? It's not just the positioning of what the results are, but how do we do the strategic planning? So there's a series of 5 questions that once you prompt them and you allow yourself 5 to 10 minutes to answer each of these questions, it helps you crystallize the image of the future that you want to create. So you're relying on your own internal knowledge of how you feel about the world, as well as where you feel your strengths and weaknesses lie, so that once you answer these questions, the planning session starts to emerge itself when you move on to the quarterly planning phase. The quarters are the essential part of the planning because they give you 3 months of time to execute and to collect enough data and not to be pressured enough to think like, am I meeting my goals? Am I not meeting my goals? Because you have a year timeline. So your goals are set for the year, but the quarters are allowing you the benchmark. One thing that I've experienced when I'm doing the planning is that I often get overly optimistic about the things that I'm going to do. And over the time, this over-optimism got corrected to a point where like my planning is like maybe 10%, maybe 20% off when I'm executing. That comes with experience. So don't get discouraged if you start setting plans and you don't follow through on them. Make sure that you do another planning session 3 months from the yearly planning session so that you can stay the course. Most people have never done strategic planning sessions and they don't know what it entails. But after that 5 questions period, where you're priming your mind for ideas and connections, then you move into deliverables and actions and rocks. Rocks are a concept that are coming from a book called Entrepreneurial Operating System. Or actually, Entrepreneurial Operating System is a concept from the book called Traction by Gino Wickman. And a lot of consultants and practitioners are using Traction as a foundation for their consulting. So it's a pretty damn good book. After you apply the quarterly planning based on EOS, one of the next steps is evaluating the health of your system. And when you're planning a business, you can observe your business as a system of 5 main different areas: client acquisition, lead generation, lead nurturing, sales, fulfillment, and client ascension. So these are the 5 components of a successful strategic plan that are coming as a third point of our exercise. And you will grade your parts of the systems. You will grade your lead generation. You will grade your lead nurturing. You will grade your fulfillment. You will grade your client ascension. You will grade your sales, and you will give it a score on 1 to 5, 1 to 10, whatever is like convenient for you. Once you have this flow, you are getting a very clear picture as to where your business is lacking. And based on this score, you can evaluate where your attention as the entrepreneur is going to be directed. This is how you are introducing a health sanity check into where your learning as an entrepreneur is going into. Like, what do I need to learn to make this part of my business better? How do I improve the lead gen? How do I improve the sales flow? How do I improve all these necessary touch points of a business and make them coherent so that they can operate more freely? And sometimes you can identify a roadblock based on this system and direct your attention there. Let's say your fulfillment is full, like your entire team is busy. Your lead gen might not be the bottleneck. Your fulfillment might be the bottleneck that you need to resolve because your fulfillment is full. So maybe you need to hire more people first before you start adding more lead generation or marketing efforts. Those are the components. Like, you have to think about the business as a system. And it's not until you write it down in a FigJam or on a piece of paper, you make a diagram on how your business looks like. And for the longest time, my business was overly complex. It was a complicated system that was residing only in my mind. Your business has to have a visual representation of how it exists, like a diagram, Venn chart that has your people in it, your AI agents, your integral component that are formulating a soul of your business. Your business deserves it, because once you see it, it's way easier to become a doctor for your own company and say, my little baby has a fever, and let me give him like a paracetamol so he like gets the fever down, and all of a sudden the baby grows up. That's the beauty of being an entrepreneur. Like, consultants have a knack for this because they've helped thousands of businesses to grow. And the conversation about how the business looks like is a very important one. And strategic planning is a methodology that allows you to hypothesize whether the things that you are doing are producing desirable results. You'll have entropy, you'll have people leaving, you'll have technology breaking down, you'll have clients leaving you, you'll have these natural disasters disrupting your process. But your methodology is what's going to keep you sane, because it will be easy to identify the highest return on investment actions and levers that you can pull in the given time. And I want to tell you, after the quarterly planning, you are moving over to monthly planning, and monthly planning over to weekly planning, and weekly planning to daily. And this way you can see how your own actions and the actions of your team are correlating to your ultimate goals. That is making yearly strategic planning extremely invaluable. The pain of not planning, when you have this method within you, integrated within you, is immense, because you know that you're wasting valuable information and knowledge away from your system. Strategic planning is a way to institutionalize your decision-making process and decouple it from emotions. Why is decoupling from emotions so important? We are often blindsided by how we are driving decisions. You cannot operate a Boeing 747 on a vibe. You cannot vibe code a company. It's not a vibe thing. It's a survival. You have 20 employees at stake. You have your clients that are depending on you. All of these things require you to build a business as a delicate ecosystem. It's not something that you kind of go on a whim and take a ride in the night with your super fancy sports car. That's a fun thing to do. You can vibe fun, emotions, relationships, but you can't vibe a business. If you treat your business like a business, it will reward you with a life of abundance. If you treat your business like a hobby, guess what? You're going to get hobby level results. You might as well go back to a job because running a business is stressful. So if you're not applying a systematic approach to the delivery of your activity and documenting it in a strategic yearly plan, what are you doing with your company? Why are you doing that? There's absolutely no need to do something like that to yourself. That's why institutionalized weekly check-ins. I do my weekly planning on Sundays. It's extremely important part of my day. I love weekly planning because it gives me clarity, especially when you do it in a week by week concession or succession, that you can see the progress week over week. You can qualify and quantify the things that you are observing. And somehow the personal planning and business planning converge for the entrepreneur. And that is the beauty of the strategic planning. And if you do sign up, I also include a template for personal planning where you can have a vision for your life, and then you can have a VTO, which is a Vision Traction Optimizer for your own business. What is a Vision Traction Optimizer? It is you setting a vision for your company, making an educated guess on how you're going to reach that vision, and collect the evidence and the data as to what worked and what didn't work. Now, most of these activities for junior level businesses, they're going to be focused around marketing and sales. More healthy businesses, they're going to have more time and commitment and energy devoted into fulfillment, client ascension, and strategy. So I'm using this one last moment to invite you to my yearly workshop where we're going to go through all these steps together, answering the 5 questions, getting the nuts and bolts of what your business is going to do in the next quarter, and doing a health check on the 5 main components of your company. If these things sound interesting to you, sign in the link below. Thank you for watching. I look forward to seeing you inside. Have a great day.